We wanted to pop back in because something else important came across as we were chatting afterwards that we really do need to bring up, and that is bandwidth, your internet connection, your internet service provider. And so a lot of us, some of us live in areas where bandwidth is never anything that crosses our mind. Others of us have data caps, and so watching Netflix or playing games can burn up your availability. And there are really two things to think about in terms of your network. That is, your transmission speed and your data cap. And so, who can talk to me about transmission speed? Let's do transmission speed first. What's a
You don't need much.
Transmission
you
speed?
don't need much. 25 down, 10 up is plenty. Plenty.
Yeah,
if you have nothing. Broadband, you're good.
So go to speedtest.net or speedup.me. Do an internet speed test. If you see at least 25 down and 10 up, you're great. It's pretty standard. If you even if you have a cell connection, you can get much better than that. In terms of,
does that matter on the volume of validators that I'm hosting in regards to that speed?
A good question. It probably does a little. I haven't done that testing. Yeah.
So right now it doesn't matter a lot.
Right.
But what we do know is that in the future, running more than one validator is likely to use more data. And it's just something to keep in mind. You may need to think about future proofing, but we're not sure exactly what that looks like at this moment.
Right.
So in terms of total bandwidth per month,
data cap,
even though it's using a little, it's using that very consistently. Mm-hmm. And so how much are we talking about, Thorsten?
I have seen figures from anywhere between 2 to 4 terabyte a month. And if you just fell out of your chair, then it's time to think about not doing hardware, but doing like a cloud VPS or something. It depends a little bit on how many peers you give your clients, because this is all peer-to-peer. They all talk to each other, right? If you lower the peer number, it'll be lower. Maybe you can get away with just under 2 terabyte. But yeah, it's a shockingly high number if you're under a data cap.
Yeah, and before you jump to a cloud service provider, I would like to urge caution. I am not a fan of cloud data service providers for staking on the Beacon chain because they have a natural proclivity to concentrate the network. And the entire goal with a Beacon chain validator is to be up. And really, not do you want to be up, you want to be up when everyone else is down. So if you're at home and your validator goes down for an hour, it's no big deal. But if the eastern half of the United States goes down and you're down, then you really want to get up as quickly as you can, because the penalties scale with the number of validators that are down.
So what's your recommendation, Super? What does somebody do who has either bad internet or capped internet at home?
So first, it makes sense to investigate another provider option if that's available. It may be worth it. There's also bonded connections. You may be able to get 2 connections and bond them together. You may be able to get a different plan from your provider that gives you more bandwidth. Before you consider a VPS, I would really encourage you to maybe think about a product like Rocket Pool, where you're doing passive staking, where someone with that bandwidth and that hardware is staking, and you hold the RETH token and collect 90% of the rewards. That, in my mind, is still decentralized staking and is preferable to putting a lot of ETH in under one roof. Essentially, if you're using AWS and 80% of people
don't use AWS, it's really expensive.
Yeah, and it goes down, and you're going to say, but it never goes down. You're right. But if it goes down for 10 minutes, there's going to be a severe consequence if a lot of people are on it. And so that's just my 2 cents. I know there are even, and this makes me sad, there are Rocket Pool node operators who choose cloud instances. And I feel like that's not in the spirit of decentralization. Everything that we're doing is trying to spread the network as thinly around the world as we can and not concentrate it in these warehouses. And at the end of the day, if the best staking that you can do is on a VPS, and that's what you need to do, and you need to do that with Prism, I'm okay with that. It's okay.
I almost believed that.
It is. It's true. It's true. In the same way, I support all stakers in any way they can stake, but I want everyone to stake to the highest standard that they can to promote the health of the network. And so if you hear me trying to talk you out of Prism, if that's the thing that you have to use, it's okay. If you have to use a VPS, that's okay. I want you to stake. I just want you to stake to the highest standard for the health of the network that you can.